Okay, so today's video we're going to talk about the new Pathfinder system. They added Pathfinder last season, but they updated it this season. If you weren't aware, they made it a lot easier. So if you look here at Crucible, you'll see down here it's called Pathfinder. If you look over here at Gambit, the bottom below Gambit, it says Pathfinder. And if you look at Vanguard stuff, right here in the middle, Pathfinder, you click on it, you can access all three of them from here. It's pretty simple, pretty easy. We're going to go over if this is actually good or if this is trash, how fun this is, how easy this is. We'll go over a whole bunch, and also what I think they can do to slightly improve it slightly better to make it a lot more efficient and a lot better. So we're going to start off with, if you don't know, this is Pathfinder. You do a whole bunch of these challenges. They're relatively easy. You don't have to try on half of them. The other half you sometimes have to focus, especially depending on your build. If your build's decent, then usually you can cover most of the bases without much effort. They all have their individuals, but they do have the shared ones, as you see here. It can be shared in Gambit, Vanguard, or Crucible, but it's not the same here. So if you go into Vanguard, this will complete on the Crucible one, but as you see, it's not here, but these ones are. It's really weird how that kind of works, but at the same time, it still works. There's not much of an issue with that part, so yeah. There is a few of them, I will warn, that do bug out. This one right here, I believe, or it's this one. It's one of these two you get for free every week. I think it's this one, but one of these is free every single week. It might be this one, actually. But yeah, you get it free at the beginning of every reset. It just gives it to you, and then you only have to earn 4 if you want to do it, which is nice. 4 in a row, or like this, or like that, you know. It's pretty simple. Sometimes, though, whenever you reset this rank, it will bug out and you can't claim it anymore if you complete it. It is bugged. I've only had it happen a couple times. I've also had this row right here glitch out if it's an ability at any point, like this one is. This one says 16%, but I've actually had this 16% for a while, for like a couple games. Actually, it was like a game and a half, but yeah, it's bugged. Sometimes they do that. Some of the ability ones do that on this row. I haven't seen it really happen in any of the other rows. It's only this row, English, lol. So it is weird how it does that sometimes. It is very rare, though. I've only had it happen twice, 2 or 3 times total. So it's not that big of a deal. You probably won't even run into it. If you're lucky, you'll never see it. I know plenty of people have never seen that, and I think it might be just a personal bug. I don't know. I haven't heard anyone else talk about it, so either nobody's noticed it because they just blow through it or they just don't care. I don't know. But if you don't know, this is the Pathfinder system. This stuff's really easy. Whether you do it Gambit, Crucible, Vanguard, doesn't matter. You can pick. There is 10 resets you get that give you a ton of materials. The first 3 resets give you a pinnacle each, so you get 3 pinnacles for free, basically, which is amazing. You get 150 bright dust, and you get a bunch of XP. Pretty nice for the first 3. The next 7 in a row will give you a 1 enhancement, enhancement prism. Enhancement prism with 150 bright dust and XP as well. So you get a total of 7 enhancement core or enhancement prisms. And then you get a total of 1,500 bright dust every week for free. All you have to do is the first 10 resets, which is worth it. I would recommend people, if you don't know it and you want bright dust or need enhancement prisms, it's an easy way to get it. You can get it from Gambit, Crucible, or Vanguard, just playing them, and you'll get a ton of them. If you run the mod on your Ghost Shell, here we'll show it. If you run this mod on your Ghost Shell, Prism Harvest, it will give you 2 sometimes. It's not very consistent. It is rarely. I don't know if it's intentional as well because it's supposed to be from ritual activities completions. But I have gotten 2 before from resetting the Pathfinder, but I think it's only happened a couple times, so it is pretty rare. But at the same time, just so you know it exists, you should definitely try it out. Other than that, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. Most of these, like I said, you don't really have to think about. You've probably completed these, not even known it, because I still don't think a lot of people know what Pathfinder is. They're relatively simple challenges. They don't take much effort. You get a whole bunch of bright dust for free, which is nice. And you get some prisms, and you get some pinnacle for free. The problem is after those 10 resets, it then becomes, well, pointless. And so Bungie's words where they wanted us to, I don't know exactly remember what they said, but this was the base ideal they said they were looking at. They wanted us to get more bright dust than we used to, but they didn't want to overflow it so much where it's just so easy you get a fuck ton of it, right? You constantly have a ton, buy everything out of the store every season, no issue. Like, that'd be a problem, right? You want to make some restrictions. But they said they wanted us to have more. Currently, we technically aren't having more. We're actually having less. So the first 10, it gives you a ton. It gives you 1,500 total every week. Amazing amount, easy to get, free. The problem is once you get to this stage where it says Bright Dust, Enhancement Core, and XP, one, Enhancement Cores are a joke. You can easily get them from the Ghost mod as well. There's a core one instead of the prism one like I showed off. There's a core one you can put on. Easily get it from any completion of an activity for the ritual stuff. You can easily trade them and buy them without much effort. They cost basically nothing to get from Raoul. They're kind of a joke. In my opinion, they're so easy to get. You play the game even somewhat and you'll get a ton of them. It doesn't take much effort at all. The prisms are worth it because they still are pretty rare. There's only a few places to get them, and you have to hardcore farm for them if you want a ton of them, so I do think it's worth it. So I don't really feel like Enhancement Core is much of a reward here. For those that need them, cool, but at the same time, most people that need stuff like this don't get to this level because they don't play that much of it, or they play other things to farm and stuff, so the Enhancement Cores still end up being a problem. So it's kind of a wasted material at this point. XP, whatever, I mean, it is what it is. XP ain't that much, truthfully, but whatever. The problem is the Bright Dust is only 30. So yes, you get 1,500 Bright Dust, which is more than you used to get for the weekly challenges. Before, you used to get 1,200, so you get 300 more Bright Dust for free, which is amazing. But you're not actually getting more in the long run. For those of us that play a lot and actually pay attention to this and reset it, and even those newer players, if you're a newer player, go do Strikes, go do Gambit, go even do Crucible if you want to. You know, if you don't like Crucible, you don't have to. You can do Gambit and Vanguard. Vanguard's really easy. Gambit's really easy. Simple way to get a lot of these done without much effort. Easily can get through all 10 of them without much effort. Get a ton of Bright Dust. And it's awesome. But once you get to this point, you are not getting anything. So yes, you get 300 more Bright Dust than you used to, but the moment you hit this level, you are now losing 20 Bright Dust every time. You only get 30 Bright Dust. Before, for doing 5 repeatable bounties, which is what this has replaced as the repeatable bounty system, you used to get 50 Bright Dust every single time you did it, which you could go in one game and get all of them done without much effort. That's the truth to it. You could get all 5 bounties done within one game in a general eye. So you usually can get 40 to 50 Bright Dust for one game, which currently these take about 1 to 1.5 games. So sometimes they're a little longer, but as long as you get the right ones and you use the right weapons, you actually focus some of them, then you can usually get them done in 1 game to 1.5 games, sometimes 2 games if it's a bit rough. I mean, I get it, it happens. I've had plenty like that. But as a whole, relatively easy to get, so it's not much effort. It's not much problem. It's pretty simple. But you're only getting 30 Bright Dust, which means from the 300 extra you got, you're taking 20 every time away from it because you're adding it on to this. Once you do that and use that 300 up, 20 per each time you reset, you've now starting to lose Bright Dust, which according to Bungie they want us to have more access to. They didn't want it to flood the system, but they want us to have a ton more than we were getting. Not a ton more, but a decent bit more than we were getting, which was true for the first 10 resets, but after that point, you're not getting more, you're getting less. You're getting a lot less. You're getting 20 less, which adds up in the long run massively. And personally, that's a problem in my eyes. Because what they said they wanted to do and what they're actually doing is 2 different things. First 10, I agree, are amazing. The first 10 resets, amazing amount of Bright Dust, amazing straight up front, awesome. But once you reset this for the 300 extra a few times, like I said, so you take 20 off the 300 and you put it on top of this for the 50, but at the same time you shouldn't be doing that because if you're getting out front 300 more, that 300 shouldn't be going towards these extra ones. They should be set in stone and these extra ones should be giving you more. And that's the truth to it. You shouldn't be taking from the 300 extra. You shouldn't be, period. Because of how they said they wanted it to be. My solution, I think is the best solution, is instead of giving us 10 for each of these nodules, because like I said, they replaced repeatable bounties, give us 5. So there's 20 of these total, 20 nodules, 20 or total, and if you do all of them, then you'd get 100 Bright Dust extra, and you're doing the work, so you're earning the 100 extra Bright Dust, and then you get the 30 extra, so it's 130. So it's 10 more than before a weekly thing, but it's not because you're still doing the work for it, right? So it's doing a whole bunch of repeatables, and you're getting the money's worth. And then you get the 30 for the extra amount. I think it's fine as 30, but they need to add these, and I only think these should be after the first 10. The first 10 should be exactly how they are. There's nothing wrong with the first 10. How they're set up, I think it's fine. It gives you a ton. It's awesome. After that is when each one of these should be 5. And yes, some people say, oh, well, it should be 10. You should just put them back at 10 like the old bounties. I agree with that. I'm completely fine with that as well. And that honestly blow me away if Bungie did that. But logically speaking, 5 would be completely okay, and here's why. Before, if you did 5 bounties, you get 50, right? So you get 30 from this big thing, and then if you do 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, what does that come out to? 35. Or, sorry, 55 total. You get the 30 here and the 25 from these if you do 10. And the odds are you'll probably get a couple more done along the way. Most of the time, it's very rarely, but most of the time, you can usually get a couple more done while trying to get the 5 you're trying to go for. Or if you're just playing and not really caring, you usually can get quite a bit of them done, and you get 5 extra every time. So you get a little extra on top of it. But let's say you purely do the 5. You get 5 done purely, no extra ones. That's 25 plus the 30, that's 55. You get 5 extra Bright Dust, which then means Bungie would be keeping true to what they said. We would make Bright Dust more accessible and more of it out there, but not too much to flood the market. They give you the 300 bonus for completing the 10, and then after that you get 5 bonus after that. So that way it's not flooding the market for Bright Dust, but it is giving you enough to actually increase your amount and actually be worth more than it was previously. Because currently it's actually worth less. I think that's what they need to do. I don't know if they will. I don't know what they're going to do. I hope they fix this. I hope this is not where they're ending it. Because truth be told, there are still some bugs with it where certain ones will not complete. It's very rare, like I said, but it does happen. But I also think to make it actually true what their statement is, because currently it's not a true statement. Currently, to make that a true statement, if they add 5 Bright Dust per nodule, that'd be great. Hell, if they did it, it'd be amazing if they did it for all of them. All 10 of them before these resets, they give you the 30. That'd be great. But I think that'd be too much Bright Dust then flooding the system, because you're looking at a 25 Bright Dust on top of the 150 you get, and so that's 175, and I think that might be pushing a bit too much. But if you do it for these, when you get to the last 30, I think it would balance it out. I think the best option is each one of these nodules gives you 5 when you're at the 30 mark. When you're at this mark right here, it looks like this, you get 30 Bright Dust, Enhancement Core, and XP every time you reset it. If they add the 5 Bright Dust per each of these nodules, then if you do all of them, you get a grand total of 100 Bright Dust extra, and if you do only 5 of them, you get 55, which is slightly more than it used to be doing repeatable bounties, which is what they said they wanted to be slightly more. Currently, it is not slightly more, it is slightly less. That is my opinion on it. I really hope Bungie does slightly better with this. I do think the first 10 are amazing, though. They're pretty simple to do. They're pretty straightforward. A game and a half, 2 games at max. Usually you can get it done. Not much effort in the long run. I completely think it's worth it. I'd say everyone, if you don't know what Pathfinder is, you didn't realize this was a thing, go check. If you played any Crucible, Gambit, or Vanguard this last week, you've probably completed these. It resets every week. Tuesday's reset, which is 11 CT right now, 9 PDT, I think, or something like that. Every reset, they constantly reset, and you can get 10 every time, which is 1,500 Bright Dust for free. If you're a new player, go do it. Pathfinder is a great way to do it. You can do anything you want. If you don't like Crucible that much, do Gambit. If you don't like Gambit, which I don't blame you, a lot of people don't, do Vanguard. But Gambit does have a really great weapon right now to farm for, which is the Bygone, so I would recommend going to a Gambit. Usually you can get all these done in one game for the most part. Usually it's like 1 or 2 you're missing, so you can usually get 2 done in 2 games if you're really lucky. It does take a little RNG, and it does take some teams that are decent, and takes them a little bit of here and there, but as a whole, usually pretty effective. Vanguard's also extremely easy. I don't play Strikes a lot. Onslaught's fun, though, and you can get all these done really quickly in Onslaught. Usually you can do it in every other wave, get one done, so it's also very quick and easy to do it that way as well. So, again, 100% recommend people do this. If you didn't know this was a thing, go out, farm it, see if you've already completed them, get your free Bright Dust, get your 3 free Pinnacles, get 7 Enhancement Prisms for free. Get some enhancement cores as you want as well if you need them. I don't really think anyone really does anymore. If you actually play the game, you get a fuck ton of them, at least as far as I'm aware, because I always have a fuck ton. I constantly get back what I use, so maybe I just play too much. I don't know. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you think the Pathfinder system is fine? Did you not even know it existed? Like, let me know if you even knew this was a thing. I would love to see how many people actually do know what this is. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment what you think. If you think this should be the future, and what they should do in the future is add 5 to each of these nodules. Let me know if you think that's good. Y'all have a good day. We out. Thanks for watching.